Hello everyone, welcome back for some more thrift store finds. I unexpectedly had to go out today and decided to, while I was out on an errand, make a few trips to some thrift stores that were kind of semi on the way around the area I was going to. Stopped at 4 different spots. And first one, just found one thing that was of interest. The complete 1943 movie serials of Batman includes all 15 segments, and it's only about $2. And I'm like, I've never seen this. It kind of looks interesting. Definitely one of those. Check it out as a curiosity because I've never seen the 40s serials with Batman. And if it's cool, awesome, $2. And if I don't really like it, if it's not my thing, then pop it up on the store. So couldn't go wrong with that. Next spot, I found a couple different DVD releases. We found Fred Dryer is Hunter, Season 1, Volume 1. This is an Mill Creek release, and I've found the complete series box set before and sold that. So this was worth grabbing, as well as a sealed Cinema Classics collection of Stormy Weather, which I think this is either just recently or is very soon to have a new Blu-ray release. I'm not sure, just off the top of my head. I feel like I remember seeing an ad for that. And then one of these Daniel Steele movies that are always worth grabbing if I can get them for like, a dollar or two. Fine things. They always seem to do well, these Anchor Bay releases. So just a couple of things, not a whole lot. And then the third place I went to is actually the big surprise, because it was the place I thought was going to be most likely a dud, and I actually found the most. They had a color tag sale going on where all the blue tags were 50% off, and they actually had a decent stack of DVDs that were only $1.99 or $2.99 that were the blue tag, 50% off. So went through, and the biggest thing that I found was a whole bunch of westerns. There was an entire, like someone's entire western movie and TV show collection had to have been there. There was a lot more than this there, just a bunch that weren't worth grabbing, even at like $1.50 or so. They still weren't worth it. And a lot of some John Wayne, like individual movies, very just kind of generic releases, but there are a few that are worth grabbing. This early Mill Creek 20 movie pack, Mean Guns, with 20 different westerns, as well as Trail of Tears, 4 award-winning documentaries narrated by James Earl Jones, James Garner, and Wes Studi. So good, another Mill Creek. There's a lot of Mill Creek collections of 4 different documentaries. Outlaws and Gunslingers, a 5-part documentary collection, another Mill Creek. It has Origins of the Gunslinger, Jesse James and the Southern Guerrillas, Billy the Kid and the Lone Outlaws, Wild Bill Hickok and the Lawmen, and Wyatt Earp, the gunfight at the OK Corral. So a lot of documentaries, and then moving from movies into TV, 70 classic westerns, episodes from old western TV shows, over 29 hours. This one's Echo Bridge, so there's a mix here of some Mill Creek and some Echo Bridge. 29 hours. We have Shotgun Slade, Legends of the Old West, The Cisco Kid, U.S. Marshal, and The Lone Ranger. So a big collection of classic western TV shows. And then this one's again a Mill Creek, the 50 movie packs, one of the older ones, the older logo, Cowboys and Bandits. Huge. I love these Mill Creek 50 movie packs. I have a bunch of them myself. It's great to be able to get just a ton of movies with a either similar theme, like they have different collections, for really cheap. So that was definitely worth grabbing for the store as well. And then one Kino Lorber DVD release. We have Buffalo Bill and the Indians, the Paul Newman one. Sitting Bull's History Lesson. We have a Robert Altman film. So a ton of westerns, like just all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. And again, there was probably at least 3 times this, like they're just individual DVDs that weren't worth picking up, but just tons of stuff. And then there are a few other things they had that were worth grabbing. Maverick, the Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster, and James Garner movie, the old Warner Snapcase. This was a fun movie. I like this. I know it has a bad rap, and I know that just from what I've read and over the many years, especially a lot of fans of the actual show Maverick were not big fans of this movie, and is just kind of a silly, popcorn action movie. There's not a lot of depth to it, but I know I saw it as a kid and really liked it, and I thought it was fun. I have this on Laserdisc. That's one good movie, and the 7th season of Buffy. Again, it was $1.50, so that was worth grabbing. And they had a couple other seasons of some shows, but there were a few that I just knew weren't even going to move, even at $1.50. You never know. Then CSI, the complete first season. And I thought this was an interesting cover. This classic mystery collection. 17 movies, and this one is an Echo Bridge. Yeah, an Echo Bridge. So the quality's not going to be great. But this cover is really funny because I look at this cover and I think of a lot of maybe you could say 40s film noir, but to me this has a 60s, early 70s spy kind of movie vibe. But the majority of the movies on the back are from the 20s. I think there's a couple 30s, just looking briefly, a couple 30s and one or two 40s, and then one 60s, an Alfred Hitchcock Presents episode, but most of them are 20s and early 30s. Very interesting. There's a lot of Bulldog Drummond and Mr. Wong, Nancy Drew, reporter, so a whole variety of that kind of stuff. Kind of curious, and I thought that was funny. Looking at the cover, just does not really, to me, depict what the contents are. Then the last place, there really wasn't a whole lot, but for $1 a piece, I grabbed 2 of these Columbia House VHS. You know how much I like those, if you follow me. So there were a whole bunch there, and I picked one All in the Family and one Honeymooners. So it's All in the Family one has 4 episodes, all from 71 and 72. And then the Honeymooners, I always like this cover image. This one, Volume 2, has 2 episodes. A Woman's Work Is Never Done, and A Matter of Life and Death. These both from 1955. So I love these old Columbia House clamshell VHS releases of classic shows. I have a ton of these, especially for Star Trek and I Love Lucy. But anyway, that was it for today. Unexpectedly good at that one spot, and overall a pretty good morning out, considering I wasn't even intending to go out today. And on the video game front, I am wrapping up Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I'm getting towards the end here, and we'll be probably finishing it up today as I'm recording this. And so look for my thoughts on that coming later this week. And I can tell you right now that I'm just going to lay it out and say what I think of my experience, so it's not going to be spoiler free. Just a bit of a warning out there already. But yeah, look for that if you find that interesting. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you around.